Guys, it's been a week. I haven't showered. I'm still in the same clothing.
And on that note, welcome to the Welcome, Loved, and Cared For podcast. We are so glad that you have joined us. My name is Nick.
My name's Nicole.
My name is Steven.
And we are youth leaders here at NMBC, and we are so glad that you've joined us. At our youth group, we say this all the time, is all the leaders here are Christians, and what that means is Jesus has changed our lives, and whoever you are, wherever you're from, we hope that you feel welcome, loved, and cared for here, that our desire is that you would get to know God's love for you, and that would change everything in your life. And so we're so glad that you've joined us for another week. We are recording 2 podcasts in one day, so that's why we look oddly familiar to episode 2.
Yes.
We just haven't showered.
That's right. We just learned after doing episode 2 that there is such a thing as a corn munchkin, and it is by far the best munchkin I've ever eaten in my life.
It really has changed my life.
They're both wrong. It has the nastiest aftertaste.
Cornbread munchkin. Dunkin' Donuts at me. It's delicious.
It sounds like it could be
It's
good.
so good.
It
So
has
good.
so much potential.
This episode, our desire is, as we approach summer, is that we would do something very different than probably what we're used to, which is not be reactive, but rather proactive. That we would look at our summer in such a way where we would say, how can I use the time that's coming to me in a way that's responsible, intentional, and that at the end of it, I won't think to myself, what did I do? I just blew it. I didn't do my summer reading. I don't know if I changed my clothes once. I think I brushed my teeth once. You know, that we really were intentional in this approach. I happen to look at Nicole, who has hygiene issues. So what do you guys think? Have you ever found yourself at the end of summer and just realized, oh man, 10 weeks flew by real quick?
Wait, I am literally so offended. you had to physically turn your body to look at me to say that.
It was
Spur of the moment.
yeah, a nervous tick.
Literally, Steven just said he hasn't showered for a week.
Yeah.
That's so messed up.
I'm a man of hygiene. I think cleanliness is close to godliness, and we could talk about that on another episode. But have you guys recognized just at the end of your summers whether you've lived and put that time to good use, or you've kind of squandered it, you've wasted it?
You go?
You can go, Steve.
I'll go. Yeah, I think for myself personally, these past 2 summers have been more like proactive, right? That's the word. Versus just like before, when I was in high school, I would just like hang out inside all day, not really do much, and just like play video games. And lately, just like spending each day a lot more wisely.
Yeah,
That's a word.
wiselier is a new word.
I don't think that's a
Guys,
word.
English
but
is not my
you just
first
read-
language.
The man doesn't shower and he doesn't English.
And he doesn't English. For sure. I mean, now that I work for the last several years, I can't just lay around and do nothing. But for sure, when I was younger, I would wait till the last minute to do everything. So you mentioned summer reading. I would be doing my summer reading, like whatever, Labor Day weekend, and like getting those reports in.
Yeah, I really do. I love to think about the intentionality, because for me as an adult, rest is kind of this weird thing where I actually have to be intentional. Mm-hmm. I don't rest well. As a kid, I was really good at resting. I just hung out and like I didn't add to a stressful life. I think the quality of teenager that we get to work with at our youth group is very different than how I was in high school. I really didn't care too much. And that was because just like open-handedly, I cheated on like all my tests. Like I didn't have to stress about things because I did fairly well. And I'm not telling you that I'm not telling you that that's the right way to do it. It's just that was my rhythm in high school, and I really regret it. And so when it came to summer reading and stuff like that, I had really smart friends that I would eventually copy off sometime in the summer. It really didn't matter, and I didn't stress about it. And I so regret it because it really impacted my college years where I wasn't a student at all. And so it makes me think of, when we look at how we manage our time and live our lives, that being intentional, right, being proactive rather than reactive is so important. And that's a maturity thing, is that so often you'll live your life in such a way where you don't do that, and then you realize, man, I wasted it. I had a week to like just relax and accomplish a few tasks, and I just blew it. Because you should enjoy some beach time or pool time, time with your friends. Those are all really good things. Do those things well. But if you realize that your rhythm is, I wake up at 12 and I go to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning every day, like you're on your way to wasting it. So we hope that this is going to help you make some plans for your summer.
So, for everybody out there rolling their eyes at you right now, Nick, because you're encouraging people to have a productive summer, whereas, like you said, summer was a time to go to bed at 3 a.m. and wake up at 2 p.m. Why is it so important to make use of our time and to not just waste it doing whatever we want? Or nothing.
Yeah, I mean, so we say this every week as we meet in person at youth group, but we really do. We want to frame our lives in such a way that we're being intentional, that we're following God, and we're giving Him our best, right? And so I'm constantly asking myself, how am I living, and how is that in line with the Bible? How is that in line with how God has called me to live? And so I think especially when it comes to time management, living intentionality, it brings me to Ephesians. It's a small letter in the Bible, chapter 5, verse 15. It says this: "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil." And obviously, while we're in the midst of our summer, like we're about to, we don't want to think of these as evil days, but I'll tell you, they're really good gifts, and we should utilize them to the best of their ability. And there's nothing worse than seeing something that was meant for good be squandered and wasted. And we do that so often. We put off tomorrow what we can handle today. And so I hope you set goals for your summer. I hope whether there's health goals for yourself and being outside, and we talked about that kind of off the podcast, but getting outside and putting away your phone and getting to be in nature. We live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Monmouth County parks are awesome. The beaches are great. And so I don't know, what are some things that you guys say at the end of the week or at the end of the day when you get to do something outside with people, that was a good day. I wasn't caught on my phone. I wasn't the evil days didn't win out today. I lived it today with purpose.
Yeah, I think I usually feel like that, when I am not spending time just aimlessly scrolling on social media, which we all know in the summer when you're not at school, when you don't have homework, it's very easy to do when you wake up, grab your phone and scroll for the next 3 hours. Definitely, I have done that before, but it's very easy to fall into that habit. But I would say I feel like time is really well spent, having good conversations with people, even if you're doing something fun, but and we talked about this in our podcast about friendship, having conversations that edify each other and talking about actual issues, and not just hanging out and watching 10 hours of TV.
Sure. Yeah, binge is not a healthy term, ever. It's just not a healthy term. And so if you are spending a large amount of time disconnecting and just becoming mush, I think the evil day that you're in isn't gonna provide anything that you're getting out of it. And so there's good. Enjoy watching shows with friends and talking about them, but don't waste the day. Really, I think what we all need, even in times of break and rest, is we need disciplined structure. And so, Steve, I don't know if you have a structure to your week. I know we've talked about some of your regular rhythms, but why don't you share some things that have been helpful, as you're out of the young age group of being a high schooler or even early college student, now, kind of stepping into one of the last years of your bachelor, college career?
Yeah. Um, for me personally, like getting to like reading anything has always been like really difficult with finding value in that, and so like um, reading can be done outside, could be done anywhere, and so like go to a park, read there. If you enjoy reading, go somewhere and like do that. And like for me, having an organized schedule, and so like waking up for a job, like if you have to be at your workplace at like 7 and it's like a 15-minute drive, like get up with enough time to like eat food, like get dressed and like clean your room. Just like things that I've found personally helpful is when you make your bed in the morning, you start off with like one something that's like simple, but you feel accomplished because you made your bed, and then it's like, all right, you're ready for the day. And I found just getting in the word in the morning has been a lot easier than saying like, oh, I'll do it later, because then you get to later and it's like, just did work, don't really want to get into it, want to relax. But having something planned allows for you to not just be indoors all day.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. To have a plan for your own. What I said, making goals, like making goals for yourself emotionally, and mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I always want us to be cognizant that we really do. We are saved by Jesus. Like, we're rescued away from death, brought into life. We're accepted by no effort of our own, completely by what Christ has done. But now we're saved for good works. We're saved to grow in right relationship with Jesus. We're blessed in our obedience as we trust him, learn to follow closely after him. And so some of the disciplines of following after Jesus, like committing to be in church, like we understand that your schedules are going to be really busy this summer and things are going to compete for your time. But making worship a priority is so important, because every generation, adults, children, seniors, everybody's together. Teenagers are together, and we're coming together as a regular rhythm to worship Jesus. It's so important. It's really important to set out around times to say like, hey, I'm going to spend time with God here. And spending time with God could look like reading the scriptures regularly, working through a book of the Bible, talking it with a leader, your parents. We always encourage you to talk about faith and your personal relationship with the Lord with your parents. And so something I followed very closely when I was a teenager in the summers, really kind of into my college years, was no Bible, no breakfast. I wouldn't eat breakfast without spending a little bit of time with God. Sometimes it was a couple verses, sometimes it was a couple of chapters, but I would spend time with the Lord, and then I would pray, and I would focus around my meal times to just spend a little extra time with the Lord. Not, of course, thanking him for the food I have, but then more than that, like praying for people that were on my hearts, people that I got to spend time with in church, my own family. And let me tell you something, when you redeem the time, when you purchase your time back rather than waste it, it really makes an impact. Mm-hmm. It really helps you look back over time. Over time, we're so used to like over time wasting it or blowing it, or like, man, we don't have everything together. And when you look at when you're productive over time, you see that like what were many little steps is now a big leap. And so that's a huge piece to following after Jesus.
Something else I would say, it's really easy to get in the pattern of like, now that you have all of this free time, it's really easy to just do things, again, like I said before, like that you want to do. Like you want to hang out with your friends all day. You want to, and it's not anything bad to have fun, but also like maybe seeing like where people like to serve, like where someone might need, help with something like a soup kitchen, even at church, like helping out with Sunday school or whatever. Like now you have all this free time, and like Nick said, like I know that a lot of us are busy. There are sports and extra classes we're taking, but I would say that to make really good use of your time is to give your time to somebody else who may need it. And I think that's like the most, and like you'll feel rewarded too, like serving other people.
Yeah, so much of our personal walk with God is God teaches us as we take our eyes off of ourselves and we place them on others. We're constantly learning little things that, oh man, I didn't know, You know, I didn't know I get like lazy like that, or I didn't know I get offended like that, or I didn't know that, you know, whatever the case may be, when we take our eyes off of ourselves, God is constantly showing us stuff inside of us and getting to be there for people in need. And so like there's awesome opportunities this summer to serve with kids, Vacation Bible School. It will be like a couple of weeks after this airs, and so if you haven't signed up for that, you know, reach out to Jamie, our kids director. That's a great opportunity to spend time with kids during the summer. During the week, we're doing our summer serve. That's July 14th and 15th, and sign up for that. It's an application, but we're going to be serving at the Jersey Shore Rescue Mission and working with people, just like to say intentionally, I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna give God 2 of these days that's so precious in my summer, and I'm going to spend time helping men who are facing homelessness by just treating them with dignity and helping paint or clean or do something. We're going to do a bunch of stuff there, and it's really going to be worth our while to do that. And so at the very beginning of your summer, this would be a great time, is to not enter this without a plan. Have a plan. Have a plan for your mornings. Have a plan for your nights, right? And then be gracious with yourself and with others. Like, you know, spend time with your family. Talk with people in real life. Don't be stuck on your phone. I wanted to share this passage in Philippians. Philippians chapter 3, verses 12 through 14 says this: "Not that I have already obtained this, or that I'm already perfect, but I press on to make it my own, because Christ Jesus has made me his own. Brothers, I do not consider that I have made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal of the prize of the upward calling of God in Christ Jesus." And here's my challenge for us this summer, is that we would make it our goal, almost as if we were training for a race, that we would grow in godliness, that we would grow in disciplines of the faith, that we would actually deny where our first inclinations is like, I just want to like veg out for the next 2 months. It's like, you're going to regret it. You're going to be so bummed that you did that. You were created for good work and sweat and community and most importantly, just enjoy time with God. And so we would love to help you as leaders. Reach out to a leader. You know, we would love to do, you know, fires, you know, at our houses, you know, campfires and stuff like that. Grab ice cream, go for bike rides possibly, but like amongst each other. Why don't you guys take that step of get off the devices, meet up at the beach, or you know, talk to your parents about, hey, you know, in a couple of days, would it be okay if I have a couple of my friends over, to foster real life friendships, because we were created. We talked about last week. We're created for friendships. First and foremost, our relationship with God, and then how it trickles down with others.
Yeah, and if you start to create these habits now of like making good use of your time and developing, you know, the habits of like discipline and stuff, it really does set you up for the future as well. So like if you practice like being careless with your time, or, you know, or doing whatever, vegging out, it really will impact 5-10 years ahead of time if you don't develop discipline and everything now.
Yep, it's stunted growth, and so because I shared with you that I cheated in high school and I didn't work hard. My college years I had to catch up on a lot of things. I was 18 and 19 years old, but by my practice and education, I was operating at like a 14-year-old level, and that happens spiritually. And that happens, you know, how we take care of ourselves and how we talk to others and engage in right relationship. And so we're encouraging you here is to step up to the maturity of this season in your life, to grow, right? To really step in and pursue a right relationship with the Lord. And as the Holy Spirit of God reveals things that are like, hey, I want to work in this in you. I want you to give this to me, that you would have other people around you to encourage it, not only your family, but your youth leaders and your friends. And so we hope this is a blessing to you this week. We have something that we want to tell you that's coming up that we're going to edit it into this video. One of you two guys can kind of say about the new segment that we're going to try to do. This week we did a new segment with Nate, one of our leaders, and you guys can talk a little bit about that.
It was great. Yeah, seeing the segment, being a part of it. I did not speak throughout it. I was just enjoying every second of it. yeah, that's all I've got. I don't know.
So the segment is that we are going to try to, in the best efforts, every now and then prank phone call a leader, and maybe that'll eventually turn into some students as well. But Nicole called Nate, and Nate had recently last month gone on a cruise with a couple of our former youth leaders and youth students, Bobby and Brennan, and Nicole acted as if she was from the cruise line, and basically said that she found some stuff in Nate's room and was going to have to charge him. So you'll hear that at the end of this podcast. But we hope you laugh. We were laughing really hard. Nate's texted me a couple times since and said Nicole should be a voice actor. She's very good. She's incredible. And we almost got him to act not like Jesus, but he acted like Jesus pretty much throughout the whole thing. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
He
All
was a
right.
good sport.
Wait, okay.
Go ahead.
No, nothing. I was finished.
Yeah, so we're going to finish up. As you listen to this, and as we close out, we just hope you feel welcome, loved, and cared for here. We love you guys. Let's let this summer be a summer where we seek after the Lord, grow in intentional relationships, and look at the end of it and say the time was redeemed. We used it for the glory of God. Have a great week, and we'll see you in a little bit.
I don't think you should have said we're going to be pranking leaders, because now people are going to expect it. Like, they're going to know.
Hello.
Hi, is this Nathan Sierra?
It is.
Hi, Nathan. My name is Natasha Ramirez. I'm calling from the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Were you on a cruise from May 8th to the 14th?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I have you here listed as the primary billing for the room that you occupied. Unfortunately, while we were inspecting the room, we had seen some animal remains left in the cabin. It kind of looked like a rabbit, but we weren't sure. Unfortunately, this had accrued a billing cost of about $500. Is it okay to charge it to your Visa that we have on file?
Hello?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm going to a wooded area, so I'm like,
Did you catch what I said?
no, I heard that I was the prime billing, but then after that it cut out.
Yes, so unfortunately, while we were having our housekeeping inspect the rooms, we had found something that appeared to be animal remains left in the cabin. It appears to be a rabbit and some chicken bones. Unfortunately, this is going to cost about a $500 cleaning fee. I wanted to know if it was okay to charge your card, your Visa that we have on
What was
file.
it?
Hello?
What was in there?
Yes, we saw that you had left animal remains.
Animal remains. We didn't have any animals in the room. There was no animals in our room.
Do you have an email that I can send you the pictures that we had found?
Yes. David.
1 second.
360 at Gmail.
Okay, yes, thank you, Nathan. It appears to be, it looks like an animal sacrifice.
That's not correct.
Yeah, we found it to be very interesting as well. So we saw some. So what was in the pictures, and I'll send it to you now. It looked to be rabbit remains, some chicken bones, and candles in the room, in the cabin.
All right, that's not correct. That's a lie.
Yeah,
So-
I'm really
So is
sorry.
this a prank?
Yeah, baby! Nathaniel!
Nate.
What is this?
Hey, Nate. This is Nick, and you were the first reader to get pranked on the Welcome, Love, and Care For podcast.
Oh, nice. You were about to get yelled at. You are so lucky.
I thought you were doing sacrifices on your beautiful trip to the Bahamas.
How bad would it have been if I said yeah? If I said yeah, we're doing some Old Testament sacrifices.
Well,
I looked at the address on the number, and I was like, Woodbridge, New Jersey, and they're calling for a cruise. I was like, I don't think that's right.
yeah, it was either the
Yeah,
cruise.
that was good.
Yeah, it was good. Good.
I genuinely thought Bobby and Brennan were like sacrificing animals when I was I was gonna have a talk with them too and be like, "Wait, really? What did you do when I wasn't in the room?"
Amazing.
That was very convincing.
All right, next time we have you on,
Nicole did not sound like Nicole.
I tried really hard.
she put on her Natasha
Yeah.
Ramirez shirt.
Hell, she put on her whole voice acting gig there. That was good.
All right, you're the first of the many segments, but we love you and thank you for making us laugh.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Stay safe.